This is literally the best day of my life.
Yes.
And then you'd be like, no, it's not. I know it's not.
Dear Shandy. Welcome to your first ever Dear Shandy Golden Bachelor recap, listeners. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
How are you today?
I am good.
I am good too. I think we all know why we're good. But first, we have housekeeping.
We do.
This is our 250th episode.
Wow.
Yes.
A quarter millennium.
And it somehow feels right that we're doing our first ever Golden Bachelor recap for this, doesn't it?
It feels like an honorary number.
Yes.
And 250 in podcast years. What's a podcast? Like 6 months in human years?
It's
So it's like 125 years old.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're getting on.
Oh, in case you missed our Bachelor in Paradise recap, we are in Seattle in an Airbnb right now. We're here because I'm singing with the opera and don't mind Andy's fortress of pillows here, which is now seems to be the way things are. Oh, also like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all the things. Okay, do we want to do overall thoughts?
I think we do.
Yeah, I'm almost speechless.
You know what Golden Bachelor was like? You're drinking Tropicana orange juice for 3 years.
Okay.
And then for the first time, you try fresh squeezed.
Why 3 years?
Because we've been doing this for 3 years.
Okay. I mean, first of all, with Tropicana being advertised as fresh squeezed orange juice, that's wrong.
Well, it's not fresh squeezed.
Yeah, I know, but some people really think they can't tell the difference. And that makes me very upset.
But that's the whole point. It's like if you think you can't tell the difference, when you have fresh squeezed orange juice, you immediately know the difference,
Yes.
unless you're like not a human being.
Yeah, maybe a dog can't tell the difference. Although I think even a dog could tell the difference.
Even a dog, it would stop for a second. It would be like...
Okay, yes, I agree. Golden Bachelor. I got emotional several times.
Yeah.
It was so good that I felt proud to be affiliated with this franchise.
Me too. They did a great... ABC deserves a standing... I would stand, but it would screw up the situation. Mm-hmm. They deserve a standing ovation.
Yeah, this was excellent. They did a very good job with this. I think that they stuffed a lot into 1 hour. We'll just get going, but I laughed, I cried. Anyone on the fence about watching this? I mean, I don't know what it's going to look like moving forward, but this premiere was 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been better. For 1 hour, it couldn't have been better.
It honestly didn't even, to follow up on the Tropicana Fresh Squeezed, it didn't even remind me of The Bachelor. It was a new show.
So we start out with the getting to know Gerry. This is going to be a bit of a mind thing because it's spelled Gerry, but we say Gerry. And honestly, just watching Gerry get ready for night one in silence. It started silent and he's putting in his hearing aid.
Oh, yeah.
Which, I don't know, something about this, the silence, and then it built into some music. Andy, you said this was Cat Stevens.
It was.
And
I'm pretty sure.
I started to cry.
You did.
This was the first of many times that I cried watching this episode.
You were bawling.
Yeah. Well, I didn't bawl yet at this point, but I started to tear up. It was just really beautiful to think that, you know, just to think of someone like doing this at this point in their life.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh, this is going to be hard today. We're reminded that Gerry was married to his high school sweetheart, Tony, for 43 years. And they had this life plan. This actually we had all been informed of towards the end of Charity's season, but it was a good refresher for anyone who didn't see that. They closed on their dream home in June 6th. She then had a sudden bacterial infection affecting her kidneys and liver. He took her to the ER on July 7th, so a month later, and then she was gone on July 15th. And that was now 6 years ago. Really a tragic story.
Yeah.
I felt like even the way they showed this showed restraint. You know what I mean? Like there was excellent taste in every aspect of this episode. Even in showing this, it did Tony justice. He's getting ready. There's a framed photo of her on the mantle. And, you know, he's engaging with the photo of her. It's not like he's replacing her. I don't know. It was just really well done, but it also wasn't too self-indulgent either. It was just good.
You know what's interesting? When production is forced to take something more seriously, like they're not allowed to mock it or be self-referential, they're actually really good.
Yeah. No,
I mean, they did a great job.
Yes. Okay, so now we're at night 1, and we have to point out that Gerry, not Jerry, Gerry is tall AF.
Yeah.
He was next to Jesse Palmer, who's what, 6'2", 6'3"? Oh, you think 6'4"?
6'2", I don't know.
I mean, he was just about Jesse's height. I was struck.
Yeah.
Shook.
He's a bachelor. All bachelors are tall.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how old they are.
It's true. So then we have 23 women come out of the limos. One of them, I think, is a joke contestant.
It's a joke contestant.
Yeah, it's Jimmy Kimmel's aunt, who's hilarious.
Yeah.
But Andy, we will keep with tradition with doing our limo exit wins and fails. So who is your limo exit win? Yes.
Sandra.
Sandra.
Yes. Sandra's was the funniest exit.
So she came out and she was like, when I am nervous, I do this breathing exercise.
Yeah.
And then she was like, and then it was a string of bleeps.
Yeah.
And she did it 3 times.
Yeah. What do you think it was?
Oh, yeah. You really wanted to know specifically what she was saying.
I think it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or.
I mean, it's funny either way.
I think I'm very close on one of those.
This is going to haunt you for life.
Yeah, that's the ABC OnlyFans. You got to find out.
I have a bunch of favorites. I have a tie for runner-up. First is April. She's clearly the comic relief contestant.
Yeah.
She's the one who grew up on a chicken farm. She brings out a basket of eggs. Mm-hmm. And I love that she was like, my eggs are still very fresh. It just felt very, self-referential, meta. It was
kind of canned.
Yeah. Sorry?
It was canned.
It was canned, but I thought it was perfect for the occasion.
What I noticed, the difference between the older folks and the younger folks in these limo exits is that they really put some thought into it. It's not just, they've sat down, they had a tea.
They had a tea.
They watched the news.
Yeah.
And they sat for a few moments and thought.
Can I just say a crumpet? That's an underrated food.
What's a crumpet?
Isn't it basically a scone?
Yeah, I think it's just a scone.
Oh.
And I would disagree with you. I think a scone is an overrated food.
I feel like you haven't had a warm, fresh out of the oven, sliced down the middle, and then with butter on it, salted butter. I feel like you haven't had that.
You know what I think the difference between you and me is? You are okay with something that has no moisture.
That's true. I like a dry food.
You do.
Yeah.
And it's odd.
Yeah, I just really liked April. She's a real character. I loved her honesty in her ITM. She was like, 65. I hate saying that. Aging sucks. It was just, it was, in a sea of like embracing your age, which I think is a wonderful thing. It was also just like some brutal honesty, like cutting through like a knife.
That's another great thing about this show is there's no room for not being honest. Everything is honest.
Okay, my other tie for runner-up was Leslie. So she's the fitness instructor and choreographer who dated Prince when she was younger.
That's a big
I thought that was
resume.
amazing. I just loved that she came out with the walker and the wig and then ripped it off. I like these meta limo exits. What can I say? We'll put it this way. There were no missed opportunities.
No.
Which I appreciate. But my hands down winner, because I just...
Why do you get so many runner-ups? I wasn't told about runner-ups.
You can have runner-ups too.
No, I haven't thought about it.
It's our recap. You can do whatever you want.
Okay, well, I haven't thought about it.
Okay.
So you clearly, got the jump on me there.
My winner is Renee. She had the cheer. She was like in that sweatsuit.
Oh, that was
set.
great. Yeah.
And she did a whole cheer with the...
Marry me.
What are those things called?
Pom-poms.
Good,
Thank
Andy.
you.
Good.
Thank you. Hold that one out.
I'm not going to do the whole thing, but she said, hope to bring you lots of luck. I'm the girl you want to marry.
Nice.
I just thought this was
good.
Cute. Yeah. Good. Okay, so limo exit fails. Do we even want to do this?
Teresa.
Oh.
And again, like I respect the effort here, but if you're going to say birthday suit, you got to show the birthday suit.
You're ruthless, Andy.
Yeah.
I thought this was really ballsy for her to do. And I mean, she was wearing a very small nude dress.
It's still, you got to go full birthday
Okay,
suit.
so Teresa, just as a refresher, it was her birthday and she came out in a black silk robe and was like, it's my birthday, so I'm going to show my birthday suit.
To me, it's either full Monty or like a suit that says birthday on it.
Okay. My limo exit fail, I'm hesitant to even give one at all because really they were all just so lovely.
Yeah.
Like even Teresa, I give her props.
As a matter
for
of
that.
fact, I would say that in the regular Bachelor, that could have been a limo exit win.
Which one?
The birthday suit.
Why?
Because I'm just saying it was the whole thing was stepped up a notch.
Yes. No, it's true. It's such a good point, actually. On a different season, that might have been the funniest exit.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow. God, they really knocked it out of the park. I was struck by how the word poise came up a lot, but really the level of confidence in being like, I've been in that situation. I just about passed out.
Oh, everyone was poised.
Yes.
I was so impressed with the poise. I'll tell you something. First of all, we gotta give kudos where kudos is deserved. The casting. Whoever did the casting for the show, and it took like 9 years. So obviously, yeah, they took their time.
Yeah.
But it was impeccable. Mm-hmm. I don't even want to know how hard that job was, but
I think it was hard.
Nailed it.
Yeah, and there are often Bachelor and Bachelorette seasons where there are 30 contestants on night one. I mean, not counting Chippy, there were 22. So that really shows that they were extremely selective.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think it paid off because there was not a dud. You know,
No.
Every single woman was spunky in her own way, brought a lot of character. Even the more like subdued or demure ones still just had like an elegance. It was very well done.
I honestly, with the regular Bachelors, sometimes it feels like they just go to the local nightclub and they round everyone up. They're like, all right, come on, everybody.
Okay, we don't have to
not
go
that
there.
bad, not that bad.
Okay, so my limo exit fail, and I say this like this is just the lightest fail, I don't want anyone to come after me for this, but I have to go with Patty, who's Matt James's mother, and this is partly not her fault because the only clip of her limo exit that was shown was her saying that her son was the Bachelor.
Oh yeah.
But I was just really hoping that we could get to know Patty on a level outside of her being Matt James's mother.
We did not get to know Patty.
No. And then she went home and it was just like, so
Yeah, that was
still,
rough.
yeah, we don't know anything more about her than we did like before this. Like what was the
And
point?
I got to be honest, this may be the first sign that Gerry?
Yes.
Gerry.
Yes.
Is it Gerry?
It's Gerry, just spelled Gerry.
I was like 60% sure I was wrong.
You're not even having to look at notes. Every time I look at it, I'm like,
It doesn't make any sense. We should spell it phonetically. Gerry, I do not think listens to production. Because I bet you production's like, just keep Patty around for a couple of episodes. You know, we that was the preview. You know, let's keep her around. He was like, no.
Oh, you
not
think
interested.
so? Oh, I don't think so.
Oh.
I think that her being Matt James's mother got her on the season. I bet you she did not have to jump through the same hoops as other people, meaning like the same casting hoops. However, I don't know. I don't picture them like they're going to tell Gerry what to do. Seriously, they're all like even the highest up executive producers, probably like 20 years his junior. It's like, who's going to tell Gerry what to do? The only person who has the gall to do that is Brayden. Remember Brayden? He was like, just be yourself, man.
Yeah, man, it's okay. Yeah, just trust me. You'll figure it out.
But yeah, Patty, I really like Patty. I think she's really elegant. I just was like, no, Patty, don't mention. Like that should be something that comes up later. That I don't know. That's just me. I feel like this is the moment for people to be themselves, their own autonomous humans outside of whatever connection they have to this show or whether or not their children have been former leads of this show.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. I'm being very picky though, obviously. Okay. So Jesse now talks to Gerry and Gerry says that what he always notices is when a smile reaches a woman's eyes. And I gotta say, I like this observation because I find it always a little unsettling when someone's smile doesn't reach their eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, it goes from being like such a beautiful thing to such a creepy
It's a horror movie.
Okay, so now Gerry enters. They all the ladies stand. And then he tells them to just get comfortable. And then they sit back down. I loved this. He's such a gentleman.
Yeah. He's like, what are you standing for? Just sit down, have a seat, relax.
Yeah, and normally that's not done.
No.
You know, normally everyone stays standing for this whole toast, which might, by the way, take a while because I don't think it's ever done in just one take. It was just so thoughtful. It showed and at every turn, it is shown that he is of a different generation. The thoughtfulness. It's not about him.
No.
You know what I mean?
Gerry it's getting to the point now where Gary's so perfect that I'm starting to have the slightest concern that he's a serial killer.
I mean, it gets more perfect because his toast is perfect. He says that in that room, there's beauty, poise, intellect, and that they have inspired him. He toasts to them. He says, let the journey begin. I love that it's in good taste. He's complimenting them. He's not trying to give them some kind of life lesson. All I ask of you is that you blah, blah, blah. Yeah. He's just like, you've inspired me. You're all fantastic. Thank you. So April now pulls Gerry first. And even this on a normal season would be like, that bitch. But instead we hear someone say, didn't she say she's never seen this show before? That was great. Yeah. April has made him a calendar of herself.
This is great.
And every month is April.
That's, I mean, come on. Got to give it to her.
How is this already better than any shtick anyone else has ever done on the show?
That's what I'm talking about. It's just a better show. It doesn't resemble the other show except in the format. There's a lack of shtick. It's real. Like even the shtick is real.
Yes. This calendar shtick was delightful.
Yeah.
She came prepared, April.
There's shtick that has nothing to do with your situation. And then there's shtick that actually really has a lot of meaning about who you are.
Yes.
And this was meaningful shtick.
Ellen now, they talk about how you should never say never. And he says to, oh my God, can we talk about the eye contact?
There is endless eye contact. It never stops.
Yeah, she's talking and he's looking at her in the eyes. And he says, Ellen, you have my attention.
Unbelievable. I melted my heart. It moistened my loins.
To have someone say that, you have my attention. I'm like getting misty-eyed again already. Yeah. And she's so moved by this. And in her ITM, she says, it's the best day of my life in so long. I love that she added in so long.
I know.
Because on a different season, someone would say, this is the best day of my life. This is the best date of my life. This is the best something of my life.
Yeah, this was like the best thing ever, that ever happened to me.
Yes, exactly.
Like literally, no, this is exactly what it would be like literally, this is literally the best day of my life.
Yes.
And then you'd be like, no, it's not. I know it's not. Nutrafol, when a thick head of hair is your primary goal.
I mean, look at that thick head of hair, Andy. What better proof is that? The proof is in the pudding being your head.
I shouldn't have this much hair.
No, you should.
I actually don't like having to thank Nutrafol. I feel like I just want to have this naturally.
Oh.
But I do have to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
And I've seen differences since I started using Nutrafol.
Well, Nutrafol was smart to become our sponsor, honestly, because not only do you use Nutrafol and credit Nutrafol, but on top of that, we had been using Nutrafol for years prior. I first got Nutrafol at an influencer event. I got the men's and women's and brought it home, and you were hooked.
Yeah.
I mean, you used it and then noticed a difference and then thought maybe it wasn't the Nutrafol. This did happen. And a couple months went by and you were like, and then we bought it again. You're like,
And it's not just me, by the way. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement.
Clinically proven to improve hair thickness and strength. Thickness.
That's what you want. And you want strength.
Yeah.
I want both of those
Yes.
things.
What good is strength without thickness?
And what good is thickness without strength?
And Nutrafol supports healthy hair growth from within by supporting the 6 root causes of hair thinning, Andy.
Stress, hormones, environment, nutrition, metabolism, lifestyle, stress, hormones. Did I get them all?
So take the first step to visibly thicker, healthier hair. For limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners, the Shandies, $10 off your first month's subscription plus free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter promo code Shandy at checkout.
Find out why over 4,000 healthcare professionals recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair.
Again, that's Nutrafol, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code Shandy, Nutrafol.com, promo code Shandy. There's a montage of time with Natasha, Sandra, Marina, Susan. He asks Susan the song that she would play at like if That's not it.
No, I was just playing that. It's like an old person song.
No, well, I mean, the song that she says is actually the song we had in our own wedding video. Which
I know, but we're also old people.
Yeah, we are. Okay, so sing the song she said.
At last. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I know, I can't do it justice.
It's hard.
But we did play in our wedding video. Maybe I'll insert a second here.
Yeah.
Actually, I shouldn't insert it because then YouTube will have an issue with it.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so we're not playing it, but just trust us. You know what I'll do is I'll link it below.
Link it below.
Our wedding video below. Okay, I've never done that before. Okay, but I swear, At Last is also our song. It's like everyone's song.
Everyone's song.
It turns out it was not a unique choice.
You know what's sad? So I picked At Last for our wedding song. That was actually the one thing I contributed to our wedding.
Okay, to say you picked it is strong. What happened was I was trying to come up with the right song that could still manage all the rights issues. There's a lot of rights issues actually with picking a song for your wedding video.
Yeah, everything.
And I was trying to come up with a song where the lyrics suited us. And At Last was on the list of okayed songs. And I was like, yeah, that's a good song. But I felt like it was done. Like everyone had done it. And you're like, but it's timeless.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're right.
Yeah.
You did fight for At Last.
I fought for At Last.
Yeah.
And then like a couple of years later, I was watching Family Guy, and the wedding in Family Guy was playing At Last during the wedding. And I was like, crap.
We are not unique snowflakes, but neither are Susan and Gerry. So now Faith, who turns out to be a major player this season, she plays a song for him. She sings and plays the guitar, and it's beautiful.
Beautiful voice too.
Yes.
Everything's good.
Everything is good. And he is looking at her dead in the eyes, like just like a penetrating gaze, the eye contact. And in her ITM, she says he's a very calming presence and he's reciprocal and he listens very well. Can we talk about the specificity?
Oh, man.
So much. And he's very into her.
And you know what I like about Gerry? It's not that sometimes people fake, like, okay, let's just say you're on TV and someone busts out a guitar and starts singing a song. You can't be like, oh yeah, that's a nice song. Anyway,
yeah.
You have to make believe at least that you're like, oh wow, I'm going to really be focused.
Yeah.
With Gerry, he's 100%. There's no one. The whole world just turns into a tunnel, and it's just Faith playing guitar, and he's watching her. It's 100% real. You can tell he's not faking it, and if he is faking it, he's a serial killer.
Yeah. With this, I feel like. Typically, when a contestant brings along their guitar and is like, I prepared a ditty for you and sings, there's a sort of like moment where you're all like, oh, I hope it's good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. And I really was in that moment this time.
Yeah. I was in the moment where it's like, of course it's going to be good because she's not going to do that. And even if it's not amazing, that's not the point. Something about this moment transcended the usual, I'm going to play you a ditty scene on The Bachelor. Yeah. Even him watching her, it wasn't even like, well, I hope this is good so I don't have to lie. It was like, wow, this person prepared me a song, brought me a guitar, is like doing this thing. Like, this is amazing.
Yeah, because everyone knows that everything is genuine. Everyone's on the same page. It's a different generation.
Oh
it's actually very sad.
It is sad.
It's sad.
I'm sad at how much better this is.
Me too.
Did we turn it into a negative thing?
No.
Okay, so next up we have Leslie. This is basically a dance party. But it's very feel good. Like it's just them dancing and then everyone starts dancing. And then we get a montage of the women complimenting each other.
Unbelievable.
Okay, like there comes a point where we have to point out that production is doing this differently.
I guess.
Right?
Or they're just being given the stuff to do.
I think they are, but at the same time, there was a time where they would not have shown contestants complimenting each other, female contestants especially. And I think that they've gotten better at doing that lately with other seasons too. So I'm not going to say it's just Golden Bachelor, but there was a time where they would not have done that. It was more like, more cutthroat. And
maybe they cut out all the dissing.
I'm telling you right now, like I was on this show, we spent like 80% of our time complimenting each other.
Really?
Yeah.
But out of almost like awkwardness, like you were like, what am I going to say? I'll just start complimenting people.
No, not even necessarily. I mean, everyone was so pretty,
right.
and they're wearing such
so
pretty dresses.
Right.
Like, where'd you get those earrings? I love those shoes. You know,
well, that makes sense.
It was just.
I mean, it's a great conversation breaker. I mean, it's so easy.
Okay, so some more one-on-one time now with Jeannie. She gives him a Jeannie lamp, and then Patty, again, this is just sort of a throwaway. And this leads to time with Teresa. So birthday girl Teresa, she reads a letter her daughter wrote for her. And then he brings her a cupcake with like 70 on it. So it's her 70th birthday.
Wow, that's a big, can you imagine? Think about this. Think about Teresa. She's like a little girl. It's like what, 1950s?
Okay.
She's a little girl in the 50s. She's watching like, Leave It to Beaver or whatever. Can you imagine if someone said, you're going to celebrate your you're going to celebrate your 70th birthday on TV, on a dating reality show?
Amazing. I mean, what an incredible experience.
The problem is a little girl wouldn't care. She'd be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm sure she would have some follow-up questions.
Yeah, she'd just be like, not interested.
Gerry eats the frosting off the top, and then this turns into a kiss. Andy, you said that's an interesting move.
Yeah. I mean, it was a heavy move.
Wait, what was the part that you were caught up on? The fact that the icing stayed in his mouth during the kiss? Or
no, I just think...
It looked almost like he was going to take the icing to then transfer the icing into her mouth. And I was like...
Either way, when you create a first kiss situation, and I don't care if it's TV, and I don't care if he knows that every woman's going to kiss him if he wants to. Like, he knows he's getting kissed. He doesn't have to work for it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. If you go for a first kiss with food, that's a power move.
Oh, you're right. You're right. And also frosting, like buttery frosting.
I'm telling you.
That's actually super ballsy.
It's super ballsy. It shows super confidence. It shows quirkiness. It shows that he's relaxed. What don't you like about that? Unless you're grossed out by it. But then you shouldn't be there. Yeah.
Super confident. Actually, we should reference your carefully chosen socks for today, Andy.
Oh, I didn't notice that I had some socks on. Oh, yeah.
And in Teresa's ITM, she says it's been forever since I kissed a guy.
No, that actually.
This is the moment you almost cried.
Yeah, I had to hold back.
Yeah, this is where we paused for Andy. There were several moments where we paused for tears.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for an Instagram of me crying. The Golden Bachelor.
So at some point, the first impression rose has landed, and now Gerry goes and gets it. And even this. He goes to get the rose, and the woman he's giving it to is not in the room where the rose is. And he just says, I hope to see you all soon, and then leaves. Like, he just acknowledges them. It's not just like, it's none of you.
How did they find this guy?
I know. He's AI. We already discussed. He is AI. He is
but
not
I don't
a real
even care.
person.
You know what? Does it even matter at this point?
No. Okay, so he finds Faith, gives it to her. The focus is really on how special they make each other feel, and then they have a makeout. And of course, the other women are like, oh, they're kissing.
Yeah. And they're all upset. But you know what? They're not upset in the way, they're upset in like a genuine way. They're like, I'm upset, but I'm also happy for her.
Upset in a genuine way.
Yeah, they're upset. There's no front. They're not being passive aggressive. They're not being nasty. They're not being, defensive. They're just like, oh, wow, he's kissing.
Yeah.
I'm sad, but that's also nice for her.
It's also like, welcome to The Bachelor.
Yeah.
That's the moment.
I felt like they were like excited. They almost like went on vacation to a place that has volcanoes.
Yeah.
And they saw the volcano and they're like, there's the volcano. That's what we came for.
It's like the main attraction.
That's it.
Okay, so that brings us to our rose ceremony. Gerry arrives and he says, I've been dreading doing this for several months.
And I believe him.
Oh, man.
Once again.
Yes. Even that. There's not a long-winded, like, thank you all for coming, taking the time out of your lives. I really am following my heart, which is what we've heard many times.
And not like thinking about the way the show is going to air. Like, let me do something quirky or fun or weird or cool.
It's just so honest, and it takes super confidence to be that honest.
Yeah.
It's just like, I've been dreading this. I don't need to tell you why. It goes without saying. Less is more. Fewer words. You don't need to talk so much to get the same point across. In fact, it's more powerful.
If this Golden Bachelor does one thing, maybe it teaches the younger generation a few things. That was
educational.
It didn't land the way I wanted it to.
Okay, so 15 women get roses. So that means 6 women are going home. 6 of those 21. Okay, yeah. So, okay. I'm right.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 women going home.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
But there's only 6.
Oh, yeah, that's just from Sesame
Right, I know,
Street.
but that's what I was doing.
Okay, so because Faith already has a rose, 15 more women get roses. So the 6 women going home are Anna, Maria. I was sad to see Maria go. I liked Maria. Maria gave good ITM game.
I liked her too. She had good. I like her style choice as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of funky.
There was an ITM she said earlier. It just struck me. She said the different dresses, the different energy, all the fun things that women like to do, they're on display.
Just happened?
What?
Just got chills.
When she said
And I got it again thinking about me getting chills. And then, it's like a half-life. I got a big one, half one, then a quarter, and now it keeps going.
Happens. That's the best.
Poignancy.
Yes.
Well thought out phrases.
Yes. It was just such an observation. All the dresses, the different energy, all the fun things women love to do.
That's like
on display. That's what this is about.
I got chills again. That could be the first line of a book, of a great novel.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was very sad to see her go
Yeah,
because
Maria gone too soon.
she would have had some good narration ITMs.
Yeah, but you know what? I believe that Maria is going to have a great golden years.
Oh, I am negative worried about Maria. I just wish that I got to see more of her. Okay, so also Pamela, Patty, Renee, my cheerleader, and Sylvia. So
Renee's not going to fuck.
What?
Oh, sorry, marry.
This cut was really painful.
Yeah.
Like it almost felt wrong. I was almost like, can we just like pretend that they all have a shot?
I feel like it should be like, was it in Survivor where they go to some special island where they all hang out in a hotel? Like there should be like, Exile Island.
Yeah. Oh, that's not a hotel.
Or it's nice though.
Exile. No, you're thinking of Ponderosa.
Oh,
But that's after they've already been eliminated.
Right. Okay.
They don't get to come back from Ponderosa.
I get it, but there should have been a Ponderosa on this season. Like where they all just hang out and they do cutaways. Sometimes they're like, oh, look at these people hanging out who didn't make it to the.
I completely agree. I would watch the. Can I swear?
I don't know. This is a family show.
I would watch the shit out of that. I would love to watch the eliminated women all just hanging out, like making friends at this stage in their life. They all seemed so excited. It only gets harder to make platonic friends later and later in life.
My one problem, and I'm not kidding. I'm not saying this is a joke. I really believe this should have happened because there's some sense of finality to the rejection.
Yes.
That's a little more like woo
it landed
than the
different.
regular Bachelor.
I agree.
Like it's just like goodbye.
Yeah. And it's not like, oh, well, this was your entree to getting on Paradise.
Yeah, and also you're so exposed. It's so vulnerable. Like talk about vulnerable.
Yeah.
These kids talk about vulnerable. Like these, are you kidding me?
Yeah. I'm torn between wishing that they had not eliminated anyone and just let everyone live in the mansion for a week and then, having a bigger cut after that first week of dates versus respecting. I respect the powers that be for this. Bold.
Lethal.
Lethal.
Just without mercy.
Yeah. So this cut is really painful and Gerry even starts to cry.
Yeah.
I love that he cries freely. It's so refreshing to see a man of that generation cry.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, any man on TV, like that's still, I think, sort of an up and coming thing. Yeah. But to see a man in his 70s cry on television.
Remember, this isn't a guy who grew up with like, it's cool to be in therapy.
No.
This is a guy who grew up with like, man up.
Yes.
You wimp. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Where luxury meets sustainably sourced materials is cozy earth.
I was wondering how that was going to wrap up. But really, cozy earth. How many times in your life can you think, luxury and sustainably sourced, those two go together?
Oh, yeah.
Really, usually it's one or the other.
And most people are happy with one or the other.
Yeah.
But here you get both.
Well, to be honest, luxury, when I know that it hasn't been sustainably sourced or created or whatever, I don't feel great about it. Like it takes away from the luxuriousness of the experience.
Most people, not you.
Okay. Meanwhile, sustainable, sometimes, you're sacrificing a little bit in terms of luxury.
Yeah.
Cozy Earth, their products are made from viscose from bamboo, making them more sustainable, making them ultra luxurious and durable. Their bed sheets are insanely soft, like cloud-like soft, but also cooling and durable. They're still like, they can take it. Take it.
What are you talking about?
All I'm saying is that many a sheet has been torn by a errant toenail.
And Cozy Earth prides themselves on the ethical production of all their products.
Yes, they have ethical factories and a direct supply chain.
And that's important because towels and bed sheets, a lot of material.
Yes, and loungewear. Don't forget your pants.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, bed sheets, it's a lot of material. Like physically, a lot of material. You want to make sure that that is sustainably sourced and ethically produced.
Oprah.
We cannot talk Cozy Earth without talking Oprah.
5 years running.
Yes.
Her favorite things.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes. Cozy Earth bed sheets have been one of Oprah's favorite things for 5 years plus. Like it's ongoing.
Bamboo and bed sheets and towels and loungewear.
Good, Andy. Also, in case you're on the fence, 100 night sleep trial. You could sleep on Cozy Earth bed sheets for 100 nights and then decide they're not for you. Plus, they have a 10-year warranty.
So right now, our listeners, the Shandys, can save up to 40% on Cozy Earth.
Go to cozyearth.com and enter promo code Shandy to get up to 40% off right now.
Try them for 100 nights, and if you don't feel the difference, send them back for a full refund.
That's cozyearth.com, promo code Shandy, cozyearth.com. So that brings us to the end of the episode. We have a preview of the rest of the season, and I started crying again because they're playing Journey.
Oh, come on.
Don't stop believing.
Hold on to that man. It's good karaoke.
And the theme of these women, like it just felt... They had this sort of like choreographed dance party thing. They had the hot air balloon. And then they showed a clip of one woman saying, "This is the month my husband died." And then like you just got this feeling of these women having really lived their lives. You know what I mean? And to get to go on this adventure.
Oh, dear.
It was so good.
You all right?
I need a moment.
I never, ever thought this day would come.
Okay, I have a tissue hidden behind me now. Okay, I can do this. I can get to the end. Okay, so now it's the credits, and this is Jesse waking up Chippy. This was also hilarious.
The funniest of these I've ever seen.
Yes. She's like, "Did I get a rose?" And he's like, "No, you slept through the rose ceremony." And then she's like, "Do I get a petal?"
Can I tell you something else?
Yeah.
I don't think this was staged. I actually think this happened. I think I think she was literally passed out and they were like, "Go over and, wake her up. This will be funny.
We'll catch this." Yeah.
And she just was bang right into it.
Yeah. Do you think it's weird that she wasn't taken seriously as a contestant?
I think that she made it clear that she wasn't taking herself seriously. And she's Jimmy Kimmel. It's like a funny thing. Like, I don't even think it had to do necessarily with her age almost. I think it just had to do with who she was.
Yeah. Well, she was perfect.
Perfect.
She added that extra little bit of allspice that honestly you didn't need, but you appreciated.
And I like that they went there. That was a bold move. Was they're going to get some people who are hating on them for that?
Oh, you think?
They're like, because she was older, like you can't take her
80s.
seriously.
Yeah.
But those people don't get the joke. That's fine.
If people take issue with that those are the kind of people who are looking for something to hate on.
That's right.
Because this was such a feel good 1 hour of entertainment.
Yeah.
I was entertained and I felt affected, clearly.
Yeah.
I felt affected by this episode. So if someone's going to be like, "Oh, you didn't take Chippy seriously as a contestant because she's older than him," like, don't watch reality TV then.
This was no holds barred. No holds barred?
Yeah.
Oh, I got that. This was no holds barred reality TV.
Yeah. So that brings us, Andy, to your A game. Because we're also going to be lethal in our recaps. And we're going to treat these contestants like any other season.
Absolutely.
And you are going to rank their A game.
That's
Andy.
correct. I am giving my A game. And as much as I don't like to give A game to people who bust out guitars, I'm giving it to Faith.
I mean, she killed it.
Killed it. Top to bottom, eye contact, pauses, intention.
Yeah.
The song was great.
Yes.
It wasn't cheesy. Do you realize how many ways that could have gone wrong?
Yes, I do.
It didn't go wrong.
Yeah.
It actually landed tremendously.
Yes. Okay, so this is where we're going to do our word watch. What word, Andy, do people want to listen for in episode 2 of The Golden Bachelor?
Journey. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
It's Journey. It's finally here.
It was handed to you on a silver platter. How could you resist?
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be a few of them, I'm guessing.
Okay, so in case you are new around here, the Shandy Word Watch, basically you predict how many times the word journey will be uttered by anyone in episode 2. And this does not count previews for the episode before it starts or previews for the following episode after it ends. Does that make sense?
Correct.
So it's the episode itself. It's not like, oh, coming up tonight.
Yeah.
And then someone says journey and then they say it again in the episode. That does not count.
Doesn't count.
Okay. And if you guess correct, you must enter by commenting either below this YouTube video or over on the Instagram post for this recap, the number of times you think it'll be uttered. You will use the numeral. So let's say you think it'll be uttered 3 times. You will use the 3 number and not write out 3. Mm-hmm. And you must do so by this Friday. No. Oh, shoot.
Oh, yeah. Everything's changed.
Okay. Let's say Monday.
Monday.
Okay. You must.
Midnight at Monday.
Yeah. You
or
must.
Monday at midnight.
Yeah. So you should be motivated to watch recaps in time so you can then enter. So by this coming Monday at midnight. And if you guess correctly, you will be entered in a draw and then one name will be plucked to win $100. We are bringing back such a popular prize. $100 to spend at one of my all-time favorite Etsy shops, Furano Studios. Literally 50% of the jewelry you ever see me wearing on this podcast is from there. Her stuff is so cute.
No lie.
Yeah, no lie. So if you want to win some cute jewelry, enter the Shandy Word Watch. Okay, so that brings us, Andy, to our predictions. This was hard.
I mean, almost impossible.
I spent way too long on this.
And the problem is Gerry is so genuine that it kind of turns everything on its head. Because sometimes I think there's kind of like a strategic decision being made in the final 4.
Oh, I am not going to lie. There are times where I'm like, the 4 most conventionally attractive women are going to be my top 4. I don't want to be that person. It's just that historically speaking, that will get me most close to being right.
Yeah. Or someone who's really entertaining.
Not even.
Always.
Not even. No, it's usually just like who's the quote unquote hottest, which is depressing. Yeah. But no, this is different. Like I mean, I don't want to say that it's not a hotness thing. It's just that he really cares about something more than just how beautiful the woman is.
Yes.
And it's hard to really guess when you don't see one-on-one time.
True.
Yes.
Okay. So let's get to it.
Let's get going. So who do you have in your top spot, Andy?
I'm going Ellen.
Oh, Ellen, one, we forgot to mention her friend.
Yeah, who died.
That's really sad. At the end, they dedicated the episode to her friend. When she came on, she said, this is my best friend of 60 years. We watched The Bachelor together.
Yeah.
That's actually heartbreaking.
It's I don't even want to think about it.
So her friend never got to see her on the show.
I honestly, it's too upsetting.
Okay. So Ellen, why do you think Ellen is winning?
I think Ellen and him have some kind of playful, very intimate rapport that I didn't see exactly in anyone else.
Okay. Including Faith?
There was good rapport, but it wasn't as playful as Ellen's.
All right. So I put Faith in my top spot. I just feel like if anyone is picking their top pick, like their final pick on night 1, it's a 71-year-old or 72-year-old, 71-year-old man named Gerry.
I agree.
And so I feel like the dynamic there, like she was really nurturing and he seemed to really respond to that. There was just such this open-heartedness in their conversation. But for what it's worth, I have Ellen in my second spot.
Oh, very nice. And I have Faith in my second spot.
Okay, so it's the same top 2 ladies we have. And who do you have in your third spot?
I've got Edith.
Same.
Wow.
This is kind of a bold choice. Edith, she was first out of the limo. She was wearing that gold gown, which was perfect, by the way.
Oh, tremendous.
I mean, she looked amazing.
Excellent.
Oh my God, her hair.
Oh, yeah.
Her hair.
It's glamorous.
She was very glamorous. And it's not that I think he's necessarily glamour. I just feel like there's more to be discovered there and she could be a dark horse. Plus she was first out of the limo. So it means that the powers that be would agree with us.
Yeah.
And in your fourth spot, who do you have?
I've got Sandra.
Same.
Sandra is cool as a cucumber.
I thought about putting Leslie in the spot, the dancer, but then I rewatched their scenes and I felt that it was a little too like dancey.
It's too performative. I feel like Leslie and him don't have a real connection. She's just like fun.
Yeah, I think that she seems like a lot of fun, but I agree there was more of this like with Sandra.
I mean, Sandra's very cool, funny, smart,
Can we talk
gorgeous.
About,
like what
we
don't
have to
you
talk,
like?
Okay, Sandra's 75 years old.
It's absurd.
She looks 20 years younger than she is. It was unbelievable. I was like, where did this woman go? She's been like in a cryo vat somewhere.
It's absurd.
She's unbelievably funny, cool, charismatic. The balls it takes to exit that limo. Again, I feel like I blacked out. I didn't remember anything. She comes out there and she's like, bleep 3 times.
Yeah.
That takes such like super confidence.
Yeah.
Okay, so we both love Sandra. We both have her in 4th. So it's wild card time, Andy.
I'm going with Nancy.
Okay, why?
Simply because she's smoking hot.
She is. Nancy is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Not a ton of airtime. In her limo exit, she was like, I've also got ear candy. And she showed off her hearing aid.
Yeah.
And then there was a brief like montage-y moment of one-on-one time, but it was just enough that I think you could have a dark horse on your hands with your wild card. Meanwhile, I have as my wild card Marina.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I loved Marina. Oh, she was so cool. She's like, my daughter told me to tell you you're dope. And she was wearing her sari. She might have been my best dress. She was just badass. I really liked her.
I feel like Marina's kind of the Sharleen of the season.
I mean, I hope to be as stunning as Marina when I'm 60. She looked amazing. So Andy, some people might say that in our predictions, I mean, we already explained the Leslie thing, but some people might say that we are neglecting Teresa, the birthday girl.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think Teresa fits that traditional trope of a role that the Bachelor likes. They're like, this is the person that does the thing and then has a sad story, but then doesn't make it that far.
Yeah, I would love to see Teresa at the end. I'm just not 100% sure that's going to happen. I mean, I'm swayed a little bit by that preview that suggested that she gets her heart broken, but I feel like Teresa has the potential to fall really hard and harder than Gerry's going to fall for her.
You know what I think Teresa is?
What?
She's the sacrificial lamb.
Oh, I hope we're wrong about that. I would love to be wrong.
Yeah, but that would screw up our top 4.
That's what it's all about. That brings us to the end.
That's it. I'm a little sad. Went by fast.
It did. Isn't it amazing how sometimes you watch the show and you're like, we're only halfway? Yeah. And then with this, I was like, but I want to see that.
This is going to be a hit.
Yes.
It has to. If this isn't a hit, I'm leaving. I'm moving to Canada.
When I was watching this last night, I felt overwhelmed by how overdue it felt.
Yeah.
Like, we have so many pointless dating reality shows now. And I'm not on Bachelor's case about this. Bachelor was one of the first dating shows. So I'm not like, oh, stupid. But I just mean there's like so many, how many variations on like being stranded and on an island in your bikini can there be? How has it taken this many years to do this?
You know what I honestly think? I think they had this ready to go in like 2019 and the pandemic came around. And to do this in the pandemic would have been abominable. So I think that's I'm giving them the grace of that.
No. Oh, I'm not giving the Bachelor franchise any hard time. I think that they did the thing that should have been done and they did it first. And that's one of the reasons I'm proud to now be affiliated as if I wasn't aware. I am now proud to be affiliated because it shows thinking outside the box and giving the airtime to this stage of life.
Yeah.
Why aren't we seeing this more?
It was like they were sitting on a couch and broke. They're like, oh God, where are we going to get, we need to get money. We're broke. Like we can't eat. And underneath the cushions of that couch was a satchel filled with cash.
Ooh. Oh,
and then someone was like, oh, I lost a peanut. And they went under the thing and they're like, oh, and that's the Golden Bachelor.
I think it was a little harder to find though than finding a satchel of cash. Only because I think the idea, but I think finding Gerry.
The cash was sewn into the underside of the couch. How about that?
Yeah, I think Gerry was the key.
Oh, Gerry came from the house. He just was like, whoa.
Yeah. You know what? They had the idea in 2019 and then it took 4 years to develop the AI to create Gerry.
Totally. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's a wrap then.
Yeah.
This is hands down the most positive recap we've ever done. Well, let's just wrap there.
Let's do it.
If you enjoyed what you heard today, you know what we will ask of you, and that is to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow us on Instagram and
TikTok,
leave us Apple and
Spotify,
podcast ratings and reviews, tell your friends, and generally do all the things you would do to support a podcast you enjoy. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Dear Shandy. Bye-bye.